Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for coming back. It's me, JWHITNEYART, or Jessica, as you're more than welcome to call me, and it's 2023. I have been away for a while, but I decided to kind of start this year off with something that I used to be really into, but I've kind of found other, creative outlets and lost the true meaning of using this functionally to be more productive. But it's bullet journaling. I know. It's kind of one of those things that's like, it's trendy, but a few years ago I was deep into the bullet journal community, kind of as a consumer of other creators who worked in or who created content around bullet journaling. But personally, I was very much, big on the washi tapes and the rulers and the Tombos and all of these items that are typically associated with bullet journaling. But I've taken a really big break from it. I've kind of just focused on art, and that's not changing. But I figured, let's start the new year off doing something that will help me maximize my productivity. So fingers crossed, I will stick to this. I'm going to keep it pretty minimal and try to make it predominantly about, functionality. So in the beginning of this video, I kind of struggled because I was trying to get my feet together about bullet journaling again, because it's been a minute. But I was like, okay, let me do this cover page. But I just, instead of trying to map this out off camera, I went into this trying to record a video and think about how to put together or set up a bullet journal. And I was like, okay, let me take a few steps back and actually start with the grid guide. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm using what is that thing called? Oh, the Prismacolor Cool Erase colored pencils to give, myself some direction, kind of give myself a guide to the guide. And then I went back with these Stabilo pens, which actually I wrote about this in the beginning. These are a lot bigger than I wanted them to be. I wanted the fine point ones, but I guess those are the 88. This is a pen 68. It's cool for thicker lines. I didn't have any problems with it really, kind of, except for you'll see in a minute, there's some smearing that goes on with this. I wasn't expecting. I actually asked someone at Good Michael's which pen to use, and she suggested this one, and it was completely wrong. But here I'm just doing the spacing, so I have some reference for other parts of the bullet journal process, where I can know how much of each page is like half, a quarter, going vertically and horizontally, how many dots would be in, where the middle is. Basically, the point of this is to be able to find the middle and to divide up each page, kind of evenly. I'm not going to be that strict about it, but I'm adding some color to this part on top of the black lines. This is kind of where I noticed that, maybe these materials are not going to be perfect for this endeavor, but it's a good starting place. I think it's important to find that as well. I think that these markers for sure are being donated to my kids. I just don't think that they serve the purpose that I want them to serve. But I think if you're newer to art in general, these work perfectly fine. I think it's more that these don't go with the paper than they don't work, because I've used these in coloring books and all kinds of things, and they work fine. Just this was not necessarily something that really panned out the way I wanted it to. Either way, I'm just adding some color to this guide to make it a little bit more interesting. I was looking at some bullet journal inspiration, and people go intense on these setups, and that is not something that I want to commit to. I want to do it very, very basically, more functional than aesthetic, but I will add some little flair. I'll have some some monthly themes and try to do some color coordination, but it's really just going to be for, you know, kind of what's going on in my life, important dates to remember, keeping track of things, and kind of meeting the goals that I'm going to set. Here I'm just doing a pen test to see and just kind of confirm that these markers are going to make my pens smear. So I just kind of have to work, I guess, from, would it be front to back or back to front? I'm not sure. But we're going to get started, and I'm going to let you enjoy it. All right. I will talk to you in a little bit. All right. Bye.
Just text, I know it's a toss up, but I hate the fact that we lost touch. Ayy, the Uber pulling up on call. Tell me, is you trying to fall through? I'ma leave it up to you. What you wanna do? Look, I'm trying to spend this time with you. Know we overdue. What you doing right now? Baby, won't you swing my way? It's been a day and I've been thinking out loud. I know I want you. Long time since the last time. Got a tab, we could run up. Knew you from the way, now we grown up. My look, yeah, made the realest ones nervous. But if you want it, tap in. I think that I know somewhere that we could go to crash land. We could keep the pace on slow jam. Don't leave me on red. Can we go back where we first began? No plans, all we had was the moment. This text, I know it's a toss-up, but I hate the fact that we lost touch. Yeah, the Uber pulling up on call. Tell me, is you trying to fall through? I'ma leave it up to you. What you wanna do? We was raised a little different. Used to be ashamed who I was, now I'm paid by the sentence. Taking my time with it. Baby, give me yours, so I could get them butterflies trapped in your rib cage. Let me know we on the same page. Give me with a text, voice note or an emoji. Waiting all day for your name on the ID. So if you want it, tap in. I think that I know somewhere that we could go to crash land. And we could keep the pace on slow jam. Don't leave me on red. Can we go back where we first began? No plans, all we had was the moment. Just text, I know it's a toss-up, but I hate the fact that we lost touch. Yeah, the Uber pulling up on call. Tell me, is you trying to fall through? I'ma leave it up to you. What you wanna do? Lost touch. Wanna do? I speak the truth. Hey.
Okay, so let's do a little more chatting about making, I guess, you know, resolutions or plans kind of for the future. And the theme for this one for me is going to be reaching for the stars. I don't know if I've talked about this much, but I'm actually finishing my bachelor's in sports psychology after the first week of January. We got the whole, winter break, which was great, but it kind of, wasn't my favorite because I only had 1 week left. So I got a 2-week break, and I kind of have to be in school a little bit longer than I wanted to be. But either way, I get to finish, this program and kind of move on and see what I want to do next as far as, school goes and getting an education, that kind of thing. But I've got a lot of decisions to make. I have to decide, if I want to kind of get into the career field right now and start working in, my concentration, or if I want to just continue to go to school and get a graduate's degree. I haven't decided. I've had a minute to make a decision, and I totally haven't. But I'm not gonna give myself a hard time about it. Honestly, I've got some time. I've got some time to really figure out what it is that I want to do and what approach I want to take to doing it. Maybe I'll talk more about, kind of, I guess, being in school and kind of my whole career and journey in the future. I don't know. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. I left a lot of the kind of struggling that I was doing in this video just because I've seen a lot of videos where people are doing, bullet journaling, and they make it look so easy. They make it look so flawless and so well put together. And maybe it is. Maybe their process is really streamlined and really successful. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't see a lot of success. Honestly, this was completely unnecessary because I wasn't going to use washi tape. I was going to see if I could start over because I was hating the way that this guide looked. And this is one of the issues that I have with bullet journaling, is feeling like things have to be perfect. I don't know where that yawn came from. Sorry, feeling like things have to be perfect instead of just doing them. So I took the tape off and said that wasn't necessary. And I just put a little star right here to kind of go with my reaching for the stars theme. And I think I just write grid guide on here and give the star a little bit of shadow. And that's kind of it for this page. And then I can get started on, New Year, January's whole year, making tracking spreads and everything else. Okay, moving forward, we get an opportunity to write out every day of 2023. Now, I made this a very sped up process, but this took me like 20 minutes. I was trying to make sure that I didn't make too many mistakes, and actually forgot to take out February only has 28 days, and I put 29, so I gotta fix that. But I didn't make any mistakes. I had a calendar open on my laptop right next to me so I could see every day, and I just put a single letter for each month right next to it, and then I'm taking pink and purple to mark holidays and birthdays. This is really important in a bullet journal for me, to make sure that I have some reference for kind of what's happening throughout the year. And like I was saying in the beginning, I grabbed the wrong pins from Michael's, and I kind of sat in a little bit of turmoil about that for a minute. But I was just kind of like, I have pins, because what I was trying to do is take on bullet journaling in a way that is accessible to a lot of people. So I didn't want to buy a bullet journal that cost $16 because that's kind of ridiculous. So I went to Michael's and found some supplies that kind of were more of what I was looking for in the first place, and definitely more affordable. But being that I grabbed the wrong pins, I kind of had to reach into my own stash of art supplies, and I don't have any. The pen that I usually use for bullet journaling is I think it's the Pentel Inner Gel. I didn't have any, so I went with the microns, and I have the 0.02 and the 0.8. So no complaints, but that's just what we're working with.
Is it true you actually think of me as less than you? Just wish that I knew how something like that could happen. Maybe it's just in passing, 'cause nothing is everlasting, no. But like really though, how do you know that I can overcome all of the obstacles? She just looked me in the eye, said it's gonna be alright, 'cause I know that's how it goes. The only thing we know is that we change. Nothing's ever gonna stay the same forever, forever. No, it won't, 'cause no one ever does. You just have to learn to trust whenever, whenever. As blue as the sky above you, it's true that it won't end this way. If you lose and get sad about it, just know it's gonna go away. It doesn't make sense that somebody else got all of the praise when you did the same thing. It doesn't feel real when they all say it's the same rules when you play, when you know that's not the case. The only thing we know is that we change. Nothing's ever gonna stay the same forever. No, it won't, 'cause no one ever does. You just have to learn to trust whenever. As blue as the sky above you, it's true that it won't end this way. If you lose and get sad about it, just know it's gonna go away. As blue as the sky above you, it's true that it won't end this way. If you lose and get sad about it, just know it's gonna go away.
All right, so here we have another finished spread. This is a future log where I just kind of list the birthdays and holidays that are coming up for each month, and then we can start another spread. I went off camera and I sketched out this goals and about me spread that's just kind of going to give me it's going to give me a chance to really look at myself, look at my surroundings, look at, kind of the goals that I have in place, and really take inventory of where I am and where it is that I want to be. My goals, I hadn't really thought about this much this year. I know I had, graduating school on the horizon, but I put in this goals spread that I wanted to figure out what I want to do next, what my next step is, to find find a work from home job and that kind of situation. But also one of the things that I am, tracking kind of actively is how I'm growing on social media. Not necessarily for the numbers, but I want to get myself out there so that I can be, hired as a freelance artist. That's really important to me. My finance goals and my health goals are kind of basic. I definitely want to lose some weight. I want to be more active. I want to find more ways to do fun things with my family. And that's pretty much all I really talk about on this page. On the other page, however, I seen I don't know, would they be considered an artist? It's someone who makes bullet journals. They had an about me page in their, beginning of the year bullet journal. And I was like, you know what? I would love to do something like that. So here, and this is going to be kind of a lengthier process because it's a lot of little bits, but I, talk about have little pictures of my kids, my dogs, some things that I like, dislikes, where I'm from, my birthday, hobbies, that kind of thing. So I'm going to let you watch me illustrate this.
When I go with confidence, when I go we roll our hips and take a sip on it, take a trip on it. When I go we can go slow, wind it up all night. Baby, take your time, let me know what I want. When you turn me around, what I want. When the neighbors yell turn down, we keep it going like bum bum bum. Throw it back then rotation, cigarettes and the season, shine bright as the season. Girl, you know you are a jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. Jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. We know like me, we know shine bright like royalty. We know stay keep with the dignity and wine. So kind of your neck is stolen. You been waiting on me to solve it for me. And last weekend you had me thinking, almost kidding, lift my head up like bum bum bum. Throw it back then rotation, cigarettes and the season, shine bright as the season. Girl, you know you are a jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. Jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. Can't you, yeah, you make me feel like we could do. Oh, you make me feel like we could do it all over again, all over again. Can't you, yeah, you make me feel like we could do. Oh, you make me feel like we could do it all over again, all over again. Jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. Jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. 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 Sounding like you're wasting every time.
So we've made it to the final spread. I decided to do a little, I'm not going to call it a self-portrait, but I guess it could be considered a self-portrait. I just want to get better at using these Caran d'Ache, what are these called? The Neo Color wax pastels. I used them in a live stream with Black Bean CMS a few nights ago, and I really enjoyed the piece that I worked on in the Zoom call, and we had a great conversation about kind of losing the fear of trying things and being a little bit more, I guess, adventurous with your art journey, and not being the piece of your own experience that kind of holds you back from doing things that you love and reaching your goals. So one of the main takeaways definitely is to do more, just do a little bit more. And I think journaling is going to be a great way to see, kind of where you start, where you go. Give yourself some intentions, give yourself some grace, show some gratitude, and just really find a bunch of different ways to grow. I was going to say something, but I totally forgot. If you're following me on other, social media, you'll know that I kind of started a 100 days of art challenge. I'm a little behind on that. I think it's really hard to start any kind of plan in the holiday season, but, definitely not going to diminish the work that I've done. I've created quite a few, pieces that I'm super proud of, and I kind of can't wait to see what everything looks like at the 100-day mark. I guess I forgot to include that in my my spread that I've made so far, but I'll add it into the bullet journal for the rest of the I guess, for the month of January, and moving forward and kind of seeing where everything lands and how much change we've made. I'm excited for this year. I think that's why I'm doing this. I can see things are, with finishing school and all these other opportunities, I can see things going in such a great direction. So stick with me. Invite your friends, share, comment, subscribe, all of the above, and we are going to see how this journey pans out together. we have pretty much made it to the end of this video. Like I said, I wanted to keep it short and simple and not make it so much work that I quit the process and decide not to do it myself. So we're just going to do a quick flip through. Here's our cover page, the grid guide, year at a glance, future log, turn the page, our goals tracker and about me section, our January spread, and finally our first week of January. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you guys next time.